The moment you commit everything is the moment the game is decided. Most players get this timing wrong. When it comes to hobbying, most of us start with the best intentions. One box, one army, get it built, get it painted, grow naturally from there. But before you finish that first box, another one goes on sale, and you buy it. Because your little plastic buddies need friends too. And then another one shows up, and before you know it, you have 3 half-finished armies sitting on the shelf, and a wallet that is not happy with you. Nobody who has that experience sat down and decided to do it. It just escalated. And the same thing that might happen to us in the hobby happens to us on the tabletop too. Now picture a fight in a parking lot. It starts with words, then it's 2 people in each other's space, then somebody shoves, then somebody swings. By the time anyone realizes what happens, somebody's on the ground. Each stage of that fight feeds the next one because the adrenaline from that last move is what makes the next move feel justified. And that's the escalation ladder in its essence. The thing about being on that ladder is that whoever is setting the pace, instead of just responding to whatever the other person does, is the one who actually decides where it ends up. They're deciding the tempo. And the people who get pulled along by their own adrenaline are the ones who end up somewhere they never meant to go in the first place. We can apply the same escalation logic to a game of 40K, where the adrenaline shows up as the pull to wipe your opponent off the board. You tell yourself you're just going to clear that one threatening unit, get it off the table, and then you'll be in a much better spot. And that next unit that's lined up is even more threatening, and dealing with it feels like the right call too. And before long, you're spending every unit you have on fights that the scoring system didn't actually care about. You end up dominating the board and losing the game at the same time. But when you move through the early stages of the escalation ladder purposefully, probing with cheap units and watching how your opponent answers, they read you as measured. And they think you understand what you're actually building towards. They start leaving openings because they're underestimating what you actually want, and those openings are where you actually win. When your opponent's the one skipping stages on the ladder, that flips the math entirely. If they throw their biggest unit across the board on turn 1 with no support and no scoring plan, they've just told you they're overextended. Their over-escalation opens a gap, and now you can justify filling that gap with a real commitment, because they made the move that opened the door for you to escalate. But if you throw your biggest, baddest unit across the board first, you've shown them all your cards, and they stop leaving openings entirely, which makes that moment, your go turn, the most important decision you make in the whole game. Strategy is what keeps you deliberate on the ladder, instead of letting the adrenaline carry you up it. I had a game last year when I sat there staring at a charge I knew I could make, the math was there, the unit was right, and the whole time I was just telling myself this was the window. So I made the charge, and I won the fight, and I lost the game by 12 points. Because while I was busy clearing that one unit, my opponent was scoring 2 objectives. 2 objectives that I just walked away from to get there. That charge was the right move in a vacuum. It was the wrong move on the ladder and in the context of the greater game, because I escalated for the fight in front of me instead of the score that I needed for the long term. The way that actually plays out is by dictating tempo of the game instead of matching it. If you're running a fast melee unit, just because you can send it straight into your opponent's backfield to take out their big beater doesn't mean you should. Because there's always more than one option, and you might be in a better spot pressuring them in a way that forces them to expose more than just that one big bad. Or, if you have a unit that can clear an objective, but doing so would leave it stranded, why not use a cheaper unit to contest it first? See what your opponent sends to answer, and then bring in the right unit to clean it up. If your opponent isn't giving you clear options, you use cheap units to probe and find the answer, and then you use your expensive units to act on it and take out their threats when they put them in the open. The reactive player will commit everything before the board is developed and eventually runs out of moves. But the strategic player builds through the early stages of the game and only commits when the board has already justified it. That might be turn 2, that might be turn 4. But let's take a look at what that actually looks like. your best unit sitting right there on the edge of your deployment zone where you put it ready to push forward and take out your opponent. And you can already feel that pull. Every turn it sits there, you're quietly building the case for why right now is the moment to send it and make that charge to take out your opponent's biggest threat. I know that feeling because I acted on it 3 times in a row with the same unit. Now at that tournament, I ran the Death Company with jump packs, and they were accompanied with a chaplain that had the enhancement to let it scout 6 inches at the beginning of the game. In game 1, I scouted them straight at my opponent's Ravenwing Darkshroud, which, if you don't know, it has an ability that makes the entire Dark Angel's army way harder to kill. And he was running it with Wrath of the Rock, which already makes things harder to kill at a baseline. But here's the thing. My opponent had pushed the Darkshroud aggressively forward on his turn 1, and I was going second. And because of the scout move on my chaplain, I was uniquely positioned to actually be able to take it out on my first turn right after his. His early commitment opened the door, and my response to it was proportional because removing that unit would weaken his whole army. So, in addition to my Scout 6, on my first turn, I needed a 9-inch charge roll to get into combat with the Darkshroud, while avoiding his Land Raider Redeemer. But the Death Company has a built-in reroll to the charge. I missed that first roll with a 7. I re-rolled it, and I got a 9. Now the actual odds of failing both of those rolls are about a coin flip against you, and I never once stopped to think about that at the time. I ended up winning that game, and that first move was a huge part of why I was able to win. But the thing that made that win easy was luck more than anything else. And looking back, I didn't really set up myself for success off the bat. And my second game, I had that same Death Company unit. I was riding high. I was really excited. I tried the same move, and I needed a 7-inch charge to get into my opponent's Castigator. I went in with the same confidence that I had in game 1, and I missed the charge. I missed the reroll. And that unit of Death Company was stranded out in the open with nothing supporting it. Now they were gone by my next turn, and I lost the game by 4 points. And the Death Company surviving would have really given me a leg up in the late game. In my third game, I overcorrected. I held a brick of Death Company way back in my home field, kept them protected, and waited for the perfect time to send them in. And the perfect moment never came, at least I didn't recognize it. It was a mirror match, and we were trading units 1 for 1, and by the time I finally committed my biggest heavy hitter unit, I'd already missed the window. And I lost that game. 3 games with the same unit and the same plan, and not one of them was timed right. The board state is what made the difference every time, specifically whether it actually justified the escalation in the moment I committed. And the dice really had nothing to do with it. So if the board state and our opponent's positioning decides when escalation is justified, the question then becomes, what are you actually chasing when you escalate in a game of Warhammer 40,000? The honest answer is dominance. Now sometimes that works, when the dice roll in your favor. But that's not always going to be the case, and 40k doesn't score for damage caused or units killed. You can go to Old World for that. Control is what wins games. Dominance just wins fights. You have to justify every escalation by the points you're going to score. You can win every fight on the board and still lose the game, because the one observer that actually decides the outcome was not watching the fights. It was watching the scoring, the objectives, the missions, which means that every time you commit a unit, you're not just deciding whether you can win the fight, you're deciding whether the fight is the one the scoring system is going to reward. And that's a decision you can actually get better at making by asking these 3 questions. First, is the target worth the position you give up to reach it? A threatening unit might not be your ideal target, so decide whether removing it pays for everything that you're going to spend getting there. Second, is the real probability in a window you would accept on paper, not just the number in your head of the likelihood. You might think that you have lucky dice, but what's the actual probability of rolling the numbers you need? Just double check that in your head before you even pick up the dice. And the third question, did your opponent open the door, or are you forcing it open? If they haven't committed anything, and you're the one going first, make sure that you're ready to put everything forward. You're about to show them everything you have. Are you ready for that? If the answer to all three of these questions is yes, then it looks like that's your window. If any of them are no, consider waiting and seeing how the board will open up in the next turn. Now, I'm still learning this all the hard way, one game at a time. But even just thinking about the tabletop through the lens of escalation has already started changing how I play. Because once you understand the escalation ladder, you stop reacting to fights and you start deciding when they happen.